Well, I'm tired of waiting for things to dry out. It's been over a week since I had the combine fire, and like I say, that was pretty minor, fortunately. But gotten tired of waiting for beans to dry out. Shoot, it's drizzling right now. Ain't the best corn running weather, but get something done. But it is a good day to run a combine that had been on fire, because there ain't a lot of dust and stuff, and so I can kind of keep an eye out for hot spots and not have to worry quite as much about fire while I'm making sure everything's working all right, which so far it is. I've run some. Just coming back to get some wagons to start dumping into. Oh yeah. We'll see how much I actually get run. I think the raindrops are getting bigger. Yeah, I might not even get a lot of corn done. couple of weeks, but we just been cold and wet. I'm not seeing it poking through yet. It'll grow. Tester says it's about 19.8. It's actually a little drier than I thought it was going to be, the way it was acting in the bin on the combine, but must be this damp air with the mist and stuff just kind of makes everything slide poorly, act like it's wetter. Time to fill the grain dryer. Made a video on this last year, but I've also gotten a lot of new viewers since then. We don't have three-phase electric where we're at, and it would be cost prohibitive to bring it in. So we make our own. The 2050 turns a 105 kilowatt, technically an alternator, to make my three-phase power. I've got safety shutdown switches on it. Murphy gauges. They monitor oil pressure and water temperature. If oil gets too low or water gets too hot, cuts off the fuel and shuts her down. That way it can run unattended. I ran some yesterday until I got rained off again. So my wet bin's better than half full, and I got some on the wagons too. That's enough to get the dryer full and get it running and get it dialed in. But right now the dryer is empty. Just waiting for the 2050 to warm up a little more here before I fire it up. Or spin it up. There's the inside of an empty grain dryer. Concept's pretty simple. There's a fan on the other end there and a big old LP burner. It blows the burning air into here, which heats it up depending on what the temperature I set it at. And then it pushes, there's a column of grain on that side, column of grain on that side, and perforated metal, as you can see through it. And the hot air pushes through it, and the hot air heats it up, and just like a clothes dryer, pushes the moisture out as it heats it up. Slowly goes through, comes down. Then it gets to the bottom where there's these metering rolls that slowly turn and feed it into the auger here. These speed up and slow down to adjust the rate it goes through. So if it's wetter and needs to spend more time in there drying, these slow down. If it's drier, the computer speeds it up. Auger takes it out, dumps it in this auger, goes up to that bin, and over to that bin is what we're going to be doing today. I always start with the farthest away bin. That way, if something goes wrong with that cross auger, I could switch to this bin. If something goes wrong with this auger, I could switch to this bin. Although usually if anything goes wrong with an auger, it's this one. And so I tend to, if I've got some corn towards the end that's dry enough, we just stick it straight into that bin. We'll run the Westfield up to that bin, dump her straight in, not even go through the dryer. And then I just always make sure to clean that corn out before things warm up in the spring. I've had this dryer, I'm trying to think, we got this in 2014, 2013, no, 2012, I think. It's been a few years now. Had it spun up the other day just to make sure everything was gonna work before I start sticking corn in. And that's what I open up the bottom, there's clean outdoors. And of course some corn always kind of sticks up in there. And so turn it on with the doors open to let all the crud fall out. Make sure everything's gonna turn all right. There ain't a dead animal. My previous dryer, I had a raccoon in the bottom when I fired it up, and he was alive to start with, and he got wrapped around that auger and brought it all to a stop. So then I had to go in there and cut him out. Boy, what a fun job that was. Yeah, right now you can see through the dryer. We'll get her fired up here pretty quick. Okay, let's fill her up. right at first because the air doesn't go through the very bottom of the dryer. Just not really practical or possible. But there's not very much. It dries out. I better make sure it ain't raining out somewhere else while I'm at it. That'd be bad. Now it's going in up there okay. Nothing spattering out. I got her going pretty slow right now too. Like to let the augers shine up. Plus that first corn out's kind of sticky because it's not totally dry, but it's warmed up. Yeah, see it's saying 19.2. That should start coming down here pretty quick. Take it a couple minutes. Turning, corn's falling in. Good deal. I'm gonna go double check the moisture reading with my other moisture tester just to verify. But I better close these doors. It'll bounce out through even if I close it before it gets up very high. It bounces out. Got the old faithful moisture tester here. We used to have this in the dealership. Customers could come in and check their moisture for free. And by golly, the thing's just says 18 on the far left there. Probably can't see it through the glare. But every now and then I'll check a sample against like the grain elevator or something like that, and the thing just it's pretty consistent, stays true. Shows 18, the readout was showing 17.8 or something like that. But the grain's, that's calibrated for 80 degrees, and the grain's now above 80 degrees, so you have to, there's a chart, you roll this back and it tells you how much to subtract depending on what the grain temperature is, because it's calibrated for 80 degrees. So, dryer seems to be pretty much spot on. Yep, she's cranking it out now. Probably a little over dry, but I don't mind the stuff on by the floor being a little over dry. That way if you get some condensation from humid days or something, got a little buffer in there. Looks like corn. Grain spreader spreading. I don't know how well that shows up. There's a couple hundred bushels in there already. Definitely a little over dry, but like I said, I don't mind the bottom being a little over dry. I got her cranking out about as fast as my augers can take it right at the moment. Got the heat turned back down. Guess I should have started unloading just a little quicker. But I like to err on the side of caution. It's corn drying at the Lucy farm. Got it pretty much dialed in. And of course I'm running out of corn. But things dried out pretty decent today, so I think I'll be able to get back at her tomorrow. And maybe the day after that, beans. We'll see how good the drying day tomorrow is. Thanks for watching.